Hey, hello and welcome. My name is Berwick Mahdi Davenport. I am the author of Mind Blowing Intercourse. More pleasure, more power. We all can use some more pleasure, more power. I am so excited about this opportunity to talk with you because I know there are a lot of people out there who need my help but don't know it. Or they need my help but are too ashamed or too afraid to take the step to call a coach like myself. Now, I'm a different kind of coach. I'm a life coach, but I'm most specifically, I consider myself a pleasure coach. And a pleasure coach is really someone that helps you along the way to really transform your life from being something that you're really just surviving to something you are thriving and flourishing in, something you are exploding with pleasure in. I want to take you from focusing on what you don't want to focusing only on what you do want and really committing yourself completely to the pleasure-filled life that you are designed to live. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the things that I found to be the biggest obstacle that people have that prevents them from really living a full out life and really being totally present to who they are and the magic within themselves. And I want to help you to see it through a story. And this story is based upon a true story. Of course, I'm not going to tell you the person's name because they are a former client, but you need to understand that we do this every day, maybe not in the situation that my client was in, but we do this on a regular basis. Here is the story. There's this lady who has been married for 10 years. Now, I want you to understand she's been married for 10 years, but she hasn't really been in love for 10 years. In fact, she hasn't been in love at all. She married the guy because he was a good catch and because her biological time clock was ticking and she convinced herself that, her options were running low. And then the girls around her really made her believe that this was the right guy for her because they thought he was a great catch. And he was on paper a great catch. Just the problem was she really didn't feel anything from him. They didn't have no real chemistry with each other. It was like being married to your brother or your sister. But all of her girlfriends like, girl, if you don't take him, I know I will. And then when she introduced him to her family fell in love with him because he's such a great guy. Really, nice conversation, good job, very intelligent, all the things that a woman would look for in a man. It's just that for her, it just didn't do it. But he started courting her family almost more than he was courting her. And they fell in love with him. And so she began to convince herself that this was the guy for her. And that after they got married, she would learn to love him. Well, it never happened. So she had for 10 years been going through the motion of pretending to be in love with this man when she really wasn't. So there were nights when they would be lying down in bed, sleeping next to each other, where she was actually daydreaming or fantasizing about possibly being with someone else. And how different her life would be if she was passionate about the person that she loved. And she wanted to be able to be passionate with him, but wasn't. So when they walked through the mall together or going to some event or going to dinner together, she would always find her eyes wandering in possibility of being with someone else. So it wouldn't take too long that during the 10-year span, that by the time they got to the 10th year, by the time they got to the 10th year, she started having an affair. And she's having an affair with this guy for a while. And the way it works is that, they meet at a hotel. No one ever sees them together, only at work, because he's a guy that just started working at her job. And they started hitting it off at work, but they would never do anything with each other outside of work except meet at the hotel. I know, right? So they meet at the hotel. He'd get the hotel. She'd meet him there. They'd do their thing. He would leave, and then she would follow behind later. No one ever sees them together. So on this particular occasion, she is there lying in the bed. All of a sudden, her left side starts tightening up. Her left arm is getting stiffer and stiffer. And, she's going through all of the processes you go through when you're having a heart attack. Folks, she is having a heart attack. Follow me now. She's literally having a heart attack. So she gets on her cell phone and she calls the 911 operator. And she says to the operator says to her, excuse me, what's your name and what's your emergency? She tells him her name and she tells him her emergency. And then the operator asks the $1,000,000 question. Now, I want you to know the universe is asking you the same $1,000,000 question right now. And you've been lying about it for a while now. Here's what the operator says. What's your location? We can't send a paramedic out to help you until you give us your accurate location. And she says to the operator, I'm sorry, I can't tell you because if I do, everyone is going to know. The operator pauses and then says, what do you mean everyone's going to know? Don't you want someone to help you? She says, if I tell you, then everyone is going to know I'm having an affair. Well, the operator thinks this is a prank call and says, if you don't tell me your location, I'm going to hang up the phone. Well, she doesn't tell her location, and the operator hangs up the phone. Now, the moral of the story is simply this, that the universe is hanging up the phone on so many of us right now because we keep giving our inaccurate location. We keep telling people that we are someplace that we are not. We're saying we're over there when we're really over here. I'm going to use myself for example because I'm a lot like you and you are a lot like me. At points in my life when I was going through financial challenges, in the presence of certain people, I would always pretend as if I had it going on financially, as if I was balling out of control. Everything was going great. And the reality was I was barely paying my mortgage, barely making it, hanging on by a shoestring, but I wasn't going to let people see me sweat. As they say, I was going to fake it till I make it. And what I didn't realize I was doing was I was preventing the universal paramedics from getting to me because I was giving an inaccurate location. I was saying that I was over there when I really was over here. And right now, there are people listening to me right now who have been doing it all their lives. They've been telling people that there's some place that they're not, and that they've been looking for the paramedics to show up, and the paramedics never show up. Then you think, oh, the universe don't listen to me. God don't listen to me. God has forsaken me. No, you have forsaken yourself because you have neglected to give your accurate location. Listen, this universe works with us being honest. Honesty is really the only communication that ever works. Everything you say that is not honest, that is inaccurate, does not work in your favor. It works against you because the universe is built and developed in a way where it don't do a damn thing unless it comes from the honest command. So now think about it. Think about how we tell people we are someplace that we are not. And like right now, there are some people right now that are in relationships and you feel miles apart from the person you're with. Be honest. You know, you with them, you be with them closely, y'all may even hug and kiss, but you don't feel close to them at all. You feel like they are so far away from you and you don't know what to say to make yourself feel closer to them or to bring yourself closer to them. So you're in a conundrum. You're like, how do I get this? You don't even know what to say. It's like you sit next to them and it's like torture because the distance is so far apart that you could like scream and yell and they wouldn't be able to hear you. So how do you close the gap? The only way to close the gap is to give your accurate location. See, the reason why that's going on is because for years you have been giving your inaccurate location about little things, about simple things like what do you want for dinner? Where do you want to go? How do you really feel and think about this or about that? And we constantly get into the habit of giving our inaccurate location. And every time we give our inaccurate location, we prevent people from being able to be with us where we really are. Listen, if you want a loving, pleasure-filled relationship with someone, you have to give your accurate location and you have to do that on an accurate basis so you give people the opportunity to be with you and to be close to you. Listen, I am a pleasure coach. And my job, all that means is that I want to get your life back in harmony with you being full of pleasure, with you pleasing yourself, with you being 100% on your own side and experiencing the euphoric feeling of harmony you get inside yourself when you are 100% on your own side, or as I like to say, when you're having fun. I define fun in pleasure coaching as feelings unfolding naturally. When your feelings are unfolding naturally, you can't help but what? Be in pleasure. We are always full of pleasure when our feelings are unfolding naturally. And the thing that allows our feelings to unfold naturally is us giving our accurate location and allowing people to be with us where we really are. I invite you to call me and allow me to work with you in helping to erase the distance that exists between you and yourself and you and those you love. You could be closer. You could enjoy your life. You could have a pleasure-filled life if you get rid of the distance. My name is Berwick Mahdi Davenport, and if you want to reach me, I can be reached at 877-229-8880, or I could be reached at 281-832-3379. Please don't call me with no damn foolishness, because I don't want to hear any foolishness. Call me only if you're serious about getting some work done and really having a pleasure coach on your side that's going to transform your life from you focusing on what you don't want to you focusing on what you do want. I look forward to hearing from you. Until then, peace and take care. God bless.